We mentioned Rand Paul on Good Morning America this morning. Here he was. This is right at the top of the interview.
So you believe if someone doesn't want to sell their house to someone else based on the color of their skin, that's okay?
Good morning, George. Good morning, Robin. When does my honeymoon period start? I had a big victory. I thought I got a honeymoon period from you guys in the media.
I think we can say it ended already. I think it's if it was ever there. Maybe an hour? I don't really know. Perry Bacon from the Washington Post joins us for our post-politics segment. Perry, you were in Kentucky this week covering the primary. First of all, he just has been distracted. These side issues he's talking about. He spent a couple of days talking about Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Americans with Disabilities Act. We're talking about settled law, as he would say, and he's still answering questions about it.
He's really gotten himself into trouble. Like right after he won this great race where he, surprised, beat Mitch McConnell's candidate, he's already got himself in not only like dangerous issues, but issues that could come up again. What's next? The minimum wage. There's a lot of issues if you're a libertarian that might be problematic. And two, if you're a Republican, you don't want to get into a racial, I just think the race issue is something particularly for any politician is bad. And the Tea Party and for all the variety of reasons, this is something he doesn't want to get into and he's got to figure out how to get out of that quickly, I think.
But he is running in the state of Kentucky. I mean, he's not running in Massachusetts.
Right.
And I'm wondering, is this, can we declare his candidacy dead because of this or no? I mean, this is still a Republican running in Kentucky.
Absolutely not. I think it's still a Republican, like you said, it's still a Republican running in Kentucky. The majority of voters there in the polls want to repeal the health care bill. President Obama's in the 30s, if I remember correctly. This is not Rand Paul has been saying, one thing he's been saying, this sort of humorous, has been saying, I would love President Obama to come and campaign for Jack Conway. He's been announcing that. I think that he thinks that, and McConnell's been saying that too, that as long as Rand Paul doesn't, which he's doing a job of so far, as long as he doesn't screw up too much, he should win this race.
We put the question out whether to Twitter, whether he's done himself any real damage with his comments here. And I think even broader than that, I mean, he is the Tea Party candidate. I mean, this is the highest profile instance we've seen of someone embracing the Tea Party movement. He is out there, and he could end up defining it. Do you see broader implications there?
I think so. And I think it's both for the Republican Party and for the Tea Party. You saw some Republican leaders yesterday distance themselves. I think if they had said, if Rand Paul had said, I'm not for the minimum wage, being increased, I think they would have been, I'm not sure it's worth it. But this thing they're really eager to get away from is they think that might brand the party more broadly as on racial issues, which they're very wary about. And for the Tea Party too, he's more than any candidate I can think of, he sort of wrapped himself around. I talked to you guys earlier about this, that during his victory speech, he said the word Republican, I think 0 times. The word Kentucky, where he's running maybe once or twice, but Tea Party over and over. He really is almost running as the Tea Party leader. And I think this is dangerous for that movement if he can't figure out how to have the right stances on some key issues.
And a headache for national Republicans and the NRSC. They don't know if this is going to be a guy who can run a disciplined campaign, get off national talk shows, not try to be the Tea Party. So I don't think do you have a sense from them if they think they're going to be able to get this guy in line?
I think you can tell they're already trying to do that, which is why these senators, you saw even Jim DeMint, who's not exactly Mr. Republican establishment, was saying, I'm going to talk to Rand Paul and figure out what he's for. So I think you're going to see, or tell him about the talk maybe. And you can also see Democrats who I think would not have gotten involved in this race, national Democrats, if it was a Trey Grayson, the person he'd be, because Trey Grayson's kind of generic, I don't want to be critical of the generic Republican running in Kentucky, but with Rand Paul, they see an opportunity to maybe capture a seat in a bad year for them probably. So.
In our last 30 seconds here, Republicans are going to be happy about Hawaii in all likelihood, but are they right to read anything into it in your mind?
I think you guys are right. There's not much to say about a race where arguably you just have two Democrats sort of fighting over the vote and therefore giving it to a Republican. This race in Pennsylvania, on the other hand, you had in the special election where the Republicans won, where the Democrats won. I think you're not seeing the signs. Scott Brown was such a dramatic victory for Republicans, but since then we've not seen a lot of signs that this is necessarily going to be the great Republican year we may have thought earlier.
Speaking of Scott Brown, he voted for that financial reform bill and he got a little sweetheart deal in there.
A little sweetheart deal for Massachusetts. That guy is not, he's just shaping up to be a bit of a force.
He's an unpredictable man. We haven't figured him out yet. He's a man to watch, I think.
Number 41 is number 60 now. We could say, all right, thanks a lot. Perry Bacon Jr. from Washington Post Politics. Appreciate it.
Thanks you guys for having me.
Thank you for being here. Be sure to tune in this Sunday for This Week. Jake's guests will be the chairman of the national parties, Tim Kaine and Michael Steele. That does it for this edition of Top Line.
Twitter.com/TheNote. Stay there. Thank you.